uh, has been published today morning.
Mm-hmm.
So this morning, that's why I'm yet to get the point yet. So just at present, I'm just talking to you about the data on population growth. So
Sure.
so far, I found that the population is overall is going to increase by 3.2%. But
Mm-hmm.
the interesting thing to say that the population will be increased to the aging population will be almost double by 2045. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I mean the number of the population, aging population, the people aged 85 or more. The number of this kind of people is was one percent in 2020 when the data was the survey was conducted. But by 2045, it will be increased to almost 3 million, 3.2 million. So
Yes.
we can easily find that it is going to be doubled by this 25 years. So just can I have your opinion? Just what impacts are going to be on the overall economy of the country, or if there are any other aspects of this increase in aging population, please?
Thanks. Is one of the, one of the, I must say, is a concerning issue. And we discussed this quite in detail in some of our classes, in some seminars and things. But it is not a problem that UK as a country is going through on its own. Most of the Western world, plus Japan and other advanced economies in the world, they all have similar kind of issues. And there are particular reasons why this is happening. First thing is due to better living standard and better healthcare. People are living longer. First thing. Second thing is the birth rate in advanced developed countries has gone down significantly over the last few decades. There are very many socio-economic, political, emotional reasons for that. I don't think we are particularly discussing those things today. But as you asked, what will be the impact on the overall economy and the society? Yes, of course, if we have a unprecedented growth of a gray population that are generally economically inactive and expect to be cared by the state, it is a cost burden on the treasury. Now, because UK runs a state monopoly on the healthcare, so when more and more people are going to need, elderly care support and things like that, it will be the responsibility of the state to provide that.
Exactly.
Now, we pay for the senior people's retirement. My children's generation will be paying for my retirement. This is how the economic model of retirement and elderly care works. Now, I think there has to be a balance in the number of people who are economically active and contributing through tax revenue, and number of people who are not economically active and dependent on the tax revenue for their healthcare. So when the balance is gone, it will definitely be a significant problem of funding the healthcare. Now, if we do not find a creative solution to this problem, it will definitely, cause a lot of serious economic concern. Not only economic concern, as you know, when economic outlook is bleak, there are social unrest and other issues as well. We have seen certain elements of that during the COVID-19 pandemic, that due to years of funding cuts and things like that in health and social care and overall NHS, the what's called the health system actually struggled a lot to cope with significantly higher demand. And with what our scientists are saying, epidemiologists and other scientists who are dealing with climate change and what's called public health, they predict that there will be quite a few pandemics in future, probably in a much bigger scale. So if we do not find a creative solution how to care for our elderly population going forward, this kind of situation will be much worse, and we might see a much higher death rate if similar kind of pandemic happens again in future.
Exactly. So, what would be your suggestions, please, to just as you said? So we should take some we should initiate some creative policy or something like that to take care of our elderly population. So, what would be your specific suggestion, please?
I think in our budget planning, the health and social care needs to be seen from a particularly different angle, not an angle that we are. Look, I mean, not only in the UK, in most developed economies, we generally focus on efficiency more than how less money we can spend to get a much more output.
Better
Now,
care.
efficiency has its limit, and
Yeah.
for a long period of time, it was a general notion that if you privatize things, their efficiency increases. But then
Ex-
efficiency is not everything. When we talk about health and social care, we are talking about people's lives and their well-being. And efficiency is necessary, but it should not be the primary concern of the health services. Their primary concern need to be providing adequate health care that every individual in the UK and in the wider world deserve. It is a basic human right. So I think we need to come out from that efficiency oriented thinking about the healthcare system. We need to think from the well-being and the basic right orientation. I think that will bring a lot of what's called change in the philosophy of how we fund it. And when the philosophical underpinning of anything changes, the action changes according to that change as well. So I think we will probably see more and more of that going forward, because the pandemic has been a big lesson for everyone that efficiency has its limit and it cannot always work on 100% efficiency. It is not possible.
So I can sum up that just at first we should change our mindset in terms of just taking care of aging population. Just we should initiate some policies which are much more better and just efficient way. So just we should find out some efficient way to get our elderly population
You see,
taking
the the
much more
the,
care.
the, the thing is, because UK runs a state monopoly on healthcare, it at the end
Mhm.
of the day, it becomes the job of the public office to do that. It's not a private sector work that would be doing. And to be honest, everyone wants to see their parents living in good care when they reach
Of
that kind
course.
of age. Okay, so I think the UK population is emotionally ready, and I don't think anyone will mind to contribute a little bit more if that provides their parents and elder members of their family getting a good care. I don't think there will be a significant problem from people's what's called mass opinion side, but it is a policy thing that has to come from the government. It cannot be done otherwise.
So
And
just
I
can I,
think,
please
yes,
please
go
go
on.
ahead. Go ahead, please.
There is another thing that Japan has done very successfully is how they kept their elderly population socially active. And
Mhm.
if you look into the healthcare data, is one of the major reasons that people fall ill in their golden age of their lives is loneliness. Now,
Mhm.
those are the things that can be you know done differently. That how we basically provide care, look after the elderly population, how we engage them in the social activities. The
Mhm.
more they are engaged in the social activities, I think the better well-being they would have. And well-being has a positive correlation with your health as well. So we can learn from other countries where this kind of things has happened in a better way.
Mhm. Okay, so just whatever I am just requesting you to. So I believe you have already covered, but if you have any specific point in terms of social implications or social impact on the increasing number of elderly population,
You see, it is going to be a wider problem. So you cannot actually pinpoint it with the social or economical thing. I think it at a wider level, it is a political problem as well. Now, I mean, if as a society we are not able to look after our vulnerable and elderly and our children, we are not good society. We cannot say that we are an advanced economy. We run a liberal democracy. We are a
exactly.
progressive society that provides care for vulnerables and elderly. So when we reach to that stage, I think we will be. I think that it will be a morally what's called
Morally
degrading question
dictated
to ask. Are we
society.
are we
Yeah.
able to do that? It's quite sad to even think that if we reach to that stage. So yeah, of course it will definitely affect the national psyche quite a lot if our elderly people are not looked after the way they should be.
So yeah, my point is that whenever you are just getting data that your population, your aging population are growing larger, so you have to be cautious right now. So you have to take some initiatives in advance so that we cannot have a such situation. So yeah,
You see, the
this
thing
is right.
is, you cannot stop people aging because it is time and people will age naturally. Now, what you
Exactly,
can do is you can try and make sure that they stay healthy longer.
exactly.
Okay, they do not become dependent on social care, as soon as they reach a certain age, so that they could live an independent life. And I've also seen in my own experience that elderly people who live independent life, their physical and mental health and well-being are far better than elderly population who are not able to look after for themselves because they're
Mm,
dependent on other, tiny little things. Am I able to change my clothes myself? It makes a big difference. We do not understand that because our body is functioning well. Now imagine someone who is paralyzed. This is
yeah.
something that can make or break the start of the day for that person. Oh, I cannot even put my socks on. That's a real sad feeling. When that kind of thing happens to someone, it is really saddening. So
Mhm.
I mean, and some people say, okay, we need to increase the birth rate and things like that, but excuse me, looking
Sorry.
at the global population, do we really need more people? Can the world actually